Welcome to another InDesign tutorial. So as promised, I have part 2 of the wedding invitation tutorial. So we're going to do two things today. One, I'm going to teach you how to put patterns inside of words. I guess patterns, shapes, objects, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to teach you how to take letters and put like backgrounds and textures in them and just make them look kind of cool. So we are also going to do that inside of a wedding invitation. Or I take that back, inside of a wedding save the date card. So I just thought this was a cute design, and if you would like this template, it is included in the wedding invitation starter kit. So I will leave a link to that below, as well as the last tutorial where we did the wedding invitation design. That template is in there as well. So it's a great time to buy it because as soon as we're done, it's going to have a ton of stuff, the RSVP cards, the escort cards, table tents, all of those things. It's going to have like a complete, at least one template of everything inside of there. And at that time, it's possible the price might go up. So it now would be a great time to purchase it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe Indesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Tuesday. And if you join the membership, you will get access to extra videos because I have secret playlists inside of there, and I just can't stop making videos. I'm not on social media, but I am making YouTube videos all the time. All right, gonna flip the screen and let's get started. So we are going to make this very cute save the date. As I promised, this is in the wedding invitation starter kit. You're going to go over here to File, New Document, and we're going to change the unit to inches. And I'm going to do a standard 5x7. That's usually the most popular one. Make sure it's portrait. I don't need facing pages. I'm going to make sure all the margins are 0. The bleed, I'm just going to do a very conservative 0.125, which is what most printers have, but definitely, check with your printer to see if you need to do anything different for the bleed. We can ignore slug, and then we're going to click create. So now we have a blank document. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to place our background inside of here. So I did already create this background inside of Photoshop, so I am going to take it and I'm going to line it up right here. That red is the full bleed, and I'm going to line it up with all of those lines. I'm actually going to go a little further out. So I need to just kind of squeeze this over to the right so it gets that full bleed. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start just entering text. So I like to do my text boxes. I usually line them up right in the center of where that document is. Also, I usually do view over print preview so I don't see too many margins. And where was that text box? There it is. I am going to center the text and I'm going to do save the date. That was the first thing we did. And then the next line, and I'm going to do a separate text box for everything so that I can resize everything and move them around how I need to. Caitlin and Edward, and move this up and paste it again, and are getting married. Move this up. Don't worry, we will format it to make it look pretty. September, and copy and paste, and we're going to say it's on the 16th, and the year is 2025, and the last text is invitation to follow. This is pretty much standard wording. I wouldn't overthink it. And mostly when you work with clients, they don't really care either. So nobody's here for wordsmithing. So we're going to resize this all so it kind of is lined up like a box. So the save the date, I'm actually going to use a different font. I like the whoops, let me try that again. I like the Montserrat font. Wow, there's a lot. Who knew I didn't even know I had all these Montserrat fonts. I just want Montserrat light. How about that? And I'm gonna change the size 17 to, now you can play around with this, the kerning and all that other stuff. I've already done it, so I don't want to waste your time with that. But I just so you know, I eyeball everything. I never ever try to be too scientific with stuff, because again, it's a design, and if it looks good to me, then it usually looks just fine as the wedding invitation. I'm going to use a second font over here. I'm going to use Century Schoolbook. I believe this is a free font, so you should be able to get that. I'm going to make everything capitals, and I'm going to change this to a 16. And that looks good. And so over here, September, I'm going to make that century as well. And I'm gonna make this all caps. And as far as this, I think I'm gonna make this 200. And I'm gonna make this, I can't remember what size it was. That looks about right. 100. And then we're gonna come back to that 16 and do that one last, because that's the big, huge number. So invitation to follow, I'm going to do that back in that Montserrat again. I'm going to make it regular, and I'm going to do 16, and the kerning is going to be 30. And if you don't see this window that I see, if you go to Window, Workspace, make sure you have Essentials Classic chosen over here, and that should give you the same workspace that I have right here. All right, 2025, I am going to do that in century. And I think that's it. All right, so we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to move this down. And I did forget to, that should be like 14, I think. Whoops. 14. There we go. All right, so everything is kind of like a square. I just need to move everything out of the way for the 16, because that's the most important number. So for that one, I am going to use Century Schoolbook again, but I am going to use Century Schoolbook Bold, and I'm going to make this way big. It's going to be 163, and the spacing is going to be a -25, which you cannot see because it is too big for the text box. There we go. All right. So everything is kind of lined up how I want it. If I want to make sure, I can go over here to the ruler on the left, click once, drag, and then drop a line over here. And then I can click and drag a line over here again. So I can see that I have a little bit of spacing. I might want to move this to the right a little. And then I'm going to obviously move this down. Same thing with this. Move this down. Everything just needs to come down. That needs to come down. I might have made my pattern a little too far into the right. So that happens sometimes. So let's see if we can just move this pattern up a little. That gives us a little bit more breathing room. We'll just move this down. And there. So the text isn't touching the pattern. We don't want that. In fact, what we could do is I could use that selection tool, and I could just move this out a little bit. There we go. Now we have some more space. And what was I doing? I was moving this around. So, all right, everything is perfect now. So all we have to do now is add this September inside of here. If you ever want to check it, you can hit the W key, and then I can see how everything's lined up. I'm pretty happy with this. So all we're going to do is we're going to finally fill in that pattern now for the 16. So you're going to make sure 16 is selected with that direct selection tool right over here. And then you are going to go to Type, and then you're going to go to Create Outlines, and that's it. You just click Create Outlines. And now that's I know it seems like nothing happened, but I promise something happened. So then what you could do is you can do File Place, and you're going to take that same pattern that I created over here, and we're going to just put it right here. Now it looks a little weird because it has a white spot. So we're just going to go ahead and double click this. And now I can see the whole pattern. So I am going to make this small. I'm going to hold the shift key so it keeps all of the dimensions and make this smaller over here. And then, oops, I lie. I accidentally grabbed the wrong thing. So we are going to try that again to make this smaller. Oh, it keeps grabbing the other thing. All right, let's try this. There we go. I double click that. Now I have it. We're gonna drag it in here, and then we're gonna take this, drag this over here from the left, and drag this down from the top, and maybe a little bit more from the top. And we're gonna pull this up. There we go. And I'm pretty happy with that pattern right there. It might be a little hard to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select that 16 again, which is no longer text. I cannot, just to be really clear, I can no longer edit this now that I've made it an outline. It's more like a shape now. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go over here to the outline and I'm going to make it that same pink as the rest of this sheet. That's kind of close enough. I'm gonna go over here to tint and I'm just gonna lighten it up a lot. So it's like kind of like a faint pink. So now it kind of mixes in with everything else. You can see that. So it kind of has like a little outline around it and it's a pink color. And that's it. We are now done with our invitation. So now you learned how to change text into an outline by going to type, create outline. Where is it? Oh, I guess I have to have something selected. That's why it's grayed out. And then all you have to do is go to File, Place, and place a pattern there. Double click it and then resize it and you're all done. So I hope that was helpful and I'm super excited to give more tutorials for you. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and I will see you next Tuesday.